Right. Hopefully, this should be back online.
Woohoo!
Alright, hello everybody. Sorry about that. My game did have a little bit of a crash. Ah, I don't think it's. I think it's put me in a car. Oh, it's just resumed the same stream. Oh, that's not bad.
Oh.
I hope it is. What are you able? Are you able to get back in?
The session's full.
Right. Okay. I'm sure Gav will leave in a sec, and we can get you back in.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the
I
formation.
mean, if Gav wants to stay, I don't mind.
Yes, you do.
I could just.
Well, you could just go home. Well, you are at home, I guess. Go to
Yeah.
bed.
Early
But
night.
we must keep up the charade of us. Yeah, we're actually in Russia in the commentary box.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have an invite?
Um. Yes. But
Okay.
the session's.
I don't. Gavra isn't in my players list, so I think he's left already. So you should be able to join. Right. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, we are back once again. Hello, Piero. Hello, Conesty. Absolute forgot his setup, so this is going to be a very interesting restart for him. Yeah. Are you able to jump back in?
Still says the session's full.
Ah, right. Okay. I'm sure
I'll
Gav will
just-
leave in this. I think he just has to wait for everybody to ready up so we can actually get going. I think. Are we stuck again?
I don't know.
I think we're stuck again.
Literally. I don't know.
Oh dear. Yeah, we're stuck again. We're stuck in another loading screen. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about this. Yeah, obviously completely out of our control. So, yeah, when the game does this, there's just nothing anyone can actually do. Looks like we're stuck in this loading screen for a while. Then, we do have a week this race can be pushed back into if needs be. Oh no, Tonios has readied up there, so we are going to be able to actually get rolling then for this race. Away on the formation lap once again then. So, who has changed tyre? In fact, Gavra is leading the session now, Natty, so you should be able to join. Let's get Natty in. Let's get Natty in first before we start. Are you in?
I'm not in. When I go to join the session, it just says Tonios is in the session by himself.
Ah, he is in AI. I've got major lag. Well, that's one of these races every season, so let's try and get you in first. That's gonna cause a couple problems. Actually, I can't invite you.
Oh no. Oh no. This is similar to what happened in the Netherlands in the weekend league, I think.
Yeah.
When kind of like the syncing up of players didn't kind of.
Yeah, I think this update has messed up a lot of stuff because it still just says migrating host, and we can't get Natty into the lobby until the game picks the host server to connect to. There we go. So Gav has left the session now, so it has managed to pick someone at least. R6's been disqualified. I can invite you though now at least. That's a good sign. Alright, there we go. Hopefully you should be able to get back in now. Tonturi, is that people just having contact on the formation lap? I think it is. Right, okay, so Natty, you are in the commentary box once again. You're not going to get to shark your duties. You will be here with us for the entirety of the race, and hopefully we actually get the entirety of the race done this time if the game would let us get to the end here. And hopefully, let's see if Ace Sabo is I just don't know if Tonios' car is actually going to move off the line, if you're going to have a carbon copy of what happened before.
Tonios' car, but
Okay. Hopefully we won't, but let's get back up here to the front of the grid and try and get underway then for 27 laps here at the Sochi Autodrome finally. Yeah, let's try and get this one underway. Let's try and get it done and move on to the next news. So for the second time of asking then, Robert Kotzbother pulls into his final grid slot on the grid. We're going to go to 5 red lights. Tonios is disconnected from this session. That might not yield good things, but we are going to get to go to 5 red lights. Why am I behind a building? Alright, and here we go then to 5 red lights. The revs build on the cars and the lights are out and we are underway. Absolute's had a good start. RC8 with more wheel spin though. Tiger's had a horrible start there from 4th position, already losing 2 positions once again. But here comes Jutsikev swooping around the outside of his teammate. RC8's going to get a double slitching off both of the Red Bulls in front of him, but the 2 Red Bulls going wheel to wheel now down into turn 2. RC8 going down the inside of his championship rival. Absolute's gone wide. That's going to allow Jutsikev now up into the lead of the race round the outside at turn 3, and now Jutsikev leads this race from his teammate Natty straight off the bat here, already up into the lead of the race. RC8 falls back down to 3rd. GSY Bates up into 4th. Tiger having a very bad start and down to 7th place, has lost 3 positions, could be about to lose another one then to the Alfa Romeo and to the Ferrari, who gets a little bit of a shove up the backside, but our back ref has also spun round at turn 4 and hasn't managed to get back going again. He is going again though now as Tiger Assassin has gone off track and has stayed ahead of Infamous. Whether he'll have to give that position back or wait and see. For RC8, they're looking at the back of Absolute. RC8 going down the inside of Absolute, cuts the track a bit and doesn't manage to keep the position then, so has given up the position to Absolute there, who is running without a setup as you heard before. So it's going to be a very difficult race now for him to try and get back into this. RC8 is going to try and go down the inside at turn 13. Absolute later on the brakes though, but RC8 just goes through and drives right past him, and Absolute there with just no front end grip, that setup not on, that he needs to get the lap time out of the car. But Jutsikev Natty already with a 1.5 second advantage.
Yeah, everyone getting off the line, but Tinteri getting ring damage in the run down to turn 1 with an incident, I think, one of the Renaults, and Albaga Breath spinning at turn 4, contact with, I think it was, I can't remember who he made contact with, but he tried going down the inside.
Oh, Tiger? Why is Tiger falling through the... what?
I think it's just the timing.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, sorry. Right then, so GSY Bates playing over the back of Absolute now as well. He's just hemorrhaging time at the moment, Natty. He really doesn't have any pace without that setup on. For some reason it's showing Tiger down in 16th position, where I'm sure things haven't gone back that badly for him in this start. You can see him there in the back of shot, tucked up behind the rear wing of the Renault there. And I think, yeah, they are starting to fix themselves now, but I'm not going to have any interval gaps, so I'm just working off of the track map at the moment. But yeah, we've got RC8 trying to stay with Jutsikev in the opening stages of this race as we work ourselves on to lap 3 here in Sochi. We've got cars very close together still though, Natty. It's very similar to last season. I'm sure you remember we had the top 4 in the Premier Series, all separated by about less than 4 seconds for a lot of the race, but yeah, just not able to actually make that overtake with the nature of the track.
Yeah, turn 2 is probably one of the main overtaking corners, as well as turn 13.
J&B looking late down the inside into turn 13, backs out of it though. Tiger already with a penalty, no sorry, Infamella already with a penalty even, as the time, look at what's Tiger! Dives it down the inside on J&B, pushes the Renault wide. J&B trying to come back at the Haas. Now that's going to give Infamella a chance. So round the outside, there's contact. Infamella pitched into the wall and then hits the back of Tiger for good measure. They're going to go wheel to wheel now into the final corner. J&B on the inside, Tiger on the outside. Alex on the max out of this race. We've got a safety car. Nothing's come up on my screen. That is concerning.
It's a virtual safety car on my screen.
Okay. Oh, Infamella. Do not overtake.
Wing damage on the side of the track.
Yeah. I think GSY Bates is very close to the pit wall as well, but doesn't have any damage from what I'm seeing. Oh, sorry, I thought Absolute had damage.
Daza having a bit of a collision under the virtual safety car. Daza 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags.
Infamella's trying to get past Tiger Assassin, yeah? Are we back to green flag racing? I've got nothing on my screen.
Got a virtual safety car on mine.
Okay, so let me know when it comes in there, because...
Expect for that to come in. Infamella and yeah, the
what is he
safety
doing?
car has been called in, and then Infamella trying to get around the outside, a bit of contact with the Haas.
as Alex going to map been out of this race and has just left the session. Tiger Assassin under pressure from Infamela. Remember, these two came together just a week ago in Monza. Tiger now on the back straightaway, DRS enabled, so DRS will be open then. That will give Tiger more of an opportunity to try and get past the runner into turn 13, hopefully cleanly this time. Let's run on board with Tiger Assassin down towards turn 13. Just a bit too far to try anything at the moment, unfortunately. I've got no interval gaps once again, so that's fun. As you've got Alpha Tauri now in the back of this battle as well. But Ace Saba looking at the back of the Ferrari and can't do anything about the car in front of him at the moment. JMB has had a very bad run through turn 16. That's going to give Tiger potentially a chance into the final couple of corners, so turn 17 and 18. And we can finally go back up here to the front where I have some interval times. So let's see what's going on at the front then. RC8 and Jutsikev separated by less than a second, so RC8 will have that DRS advantage then down this very, very long main straight. Too far to make a move at the moment, though. Runs over that curb actually, so that could be a corner cutting warning coming the way of that particular driver. Ace Saba going down the inside on Infamela's contact. Infamela goes off the track to keep the position, so will he give it back? But Tiger Natty has got past JMB and up into 5th.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at Albagu Breath, and on this lap he hasn't hit any corners. They've all been cut, including this final few here. He's got himself a lot of penalties. He's going to be close to disqualifying.
Ace Saba though and Infamela having a really good battle here. Ace Saba just squeezing down the inside on the Ferrari there at turn 5 and gets himself up into 7th position. Oh, but he's gone wide. That's going to give Infamela a chance. Into turn 8. He's dived it down the inside now. He gets the move done. Goes off track to keep it. Ace Saba and Infamela separated by absolutely nothing at the moment. And in fact, they've both gone wide here again. And Tiger now is all over the back of GSY Bates for 4th. They've all got DRS on each other. They're all really, really close together. RC8, though, all over the back of Jutsikev as well. The gap, the interval gap, just 0.4 of a second between these two drivers. This is for the lead of the race, but RC8 goes a bit wide. Absolute now looking hungry on the back of the Alfa Romeo. He wants to try and extend his championship lead at the moment now, yet at this current point is losing points to his two championship rivals.
And yeah, the top guys are running really closely, and yeah, it's a really close start. But I am looking at Albagu Breath still, and it's continuing to cut corners. I don't know what's going on here with the Williams driver, but
Ooh, Jutsikev's gone a bit wide, Natty. That's going to give RC8 a chance now. Into turn 3, our top 3 separated by 0.6 of a second. It is game on here in Sochi then for the win. All 3 of these drivers won, so they can all see an advantage over their rivals then in terms of the points for the championship. 0.7 of a second now. Our top 3 separated by Tigers all over the back of GSY Bates for 4th position. We're going to keep our camera right up here at this top 3 now, so it's going to be staying here for a while as these guys just nose to tail at this moment in time.
Yeah, the front 3 all separate around less than a second. The 2 Red Bulls and RCA in the middle. We've got a safety car, but full safety car. Triple O's out and has crashed where Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen did in 2015.
Let's try. Oh, Bagav's been disqualified from the session. That's not too much of a surprise. Let's see what's happened then to Triple O. He has gone off Natty at turn 4. And that looks like he's just caught a bit of oversteer and just gone into the barrier. I don't think he'll have a front left wheel, but so far Codemasters have been proved wrong on everything that they have fixed in the game. But Natty, hard tyres here. Hard tyres can go for 30 laps here. So who will come into the pits? Jutsikev comes into the pits. RC8 follows him in. Absolute 11 follows him in. That could be crucial here, Natty. They're all going to go for the hards, I'm sure of it, and they'll all try and get to the end of this race. Let's see what tyres they go on to. Then everyone's coming in here, Natty. No one is chancing against staying out to the end. They all know. I think the same thing. This hard tyres can very much last. The mediums could actually work, to be honest.
I think the mediums could potentially go to the end. We saw Nico Rosberg do it in 2016. Obviously, that was a 100% race. So,
Absolute's been held in the pit lane, though, Natty. He's been massively held up in the pit lane. Is he going to get out ahead of Tiger's Haas? Let's see. He has done, but the gap is a lot closer here. In fact, the Haas and the Williams are inside each other, but Tiger has jumped Bates in the pits. Onto the hard tyres then. Everybody else, though, onto a set of mediums, Natty. I think the mediums could probably get to the end of the race here, you know?
Yeah, I think the mediums are probably going to be a better tyre, to be honest. Obviously, there's not a lot of tyre wear, and also the runners on the hard, so Tiger and JMB are going to struggle in the early phase of this race. Everyone on the quicker compounder tyre, the mediums, compared to those two on the hard. So they're really going to struggle. And unlike tracks like Silverstone or Spain, tyre wear isn't really harsh. So yeah, the hard tyres might not be the best race tyre for those guys on the hards.
Oh yeah, certainly, but Robert Codfather up in third at the moment. What can he do for his teammate then after this safety car restart? So maybe holding up some of the other cars so we can get Tiger up into the podium positions here. Potentially, we've still got a McLaren coming through turn 1, so I don't think we're going to get back to some green flag running on this lap, but it will be coming very soon. Don't worry about that, Tiger. They're up in 5th position. Must be getting a nosebleed from how far up the grid he is today.
Brizzy started the race on mediums and has gone onto the softs. Do you think those softs could go to 10?
It will be one hell of a stretch, but I would say if there was one track where softs could do 20 laps, it would definitely be this one.
We'll keep an eye out on the McLaren driver and see where he can take those soft tyres, but I think you've said this already, Robert Codfather staying out on the mediums.
Yeah, just taking a look at the penalties here, Natty. We've got Tiger Assassin already with 8 seconds worth of penalties. Just picked up a 5-second penalty in there somehow. GMB has picked up a 5-second time penalty. Infamela on 9 seconds. Saba has a 3-second time penalty, and Dazzler with 10 seconds of time penalties. Hampton on 8, and Tunturi on 3 as it stands. But anyway, let's have a look at your biggest movers and shakers then from the opening 6 laps of racing since we have the safety car out. Robert Codfather, although that won't be representative, he hasn't actually done a lap time yet, but completed a lap in that position under racing speeds, but up 17 positions. Victor up 6 positions from his grid slot as well. Hampton up 6 positions as well. Your biggest loser at the moment, Tonio's down 6 positions, not having that disconnect before the start, and Brizzy also down 5 positions.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mix-up off the start. Obviously the safety car coming out on lap 3, I think it was. So not a lap 1 full safety car, but another safety car in the freshman league. Let's hope it's a clean start.
And
safety car should be in this lap, or that the field has bunched up.
Yeah, it certainly has. That Mercedes AMG GT safety car, which apparently is being replaced next season, just announced today by an Aston Martin GB11. So looking forward to that as Aston Martin increase their involvement in the sport, obviously taking over Racing Point under the consortium led by Lawrence Stroll. Then some interesting facts about the safety car for you there. In fact, a car that I think I used last season in the GT Sport Championship. That was a safety car, but the GT3 variant of it. But yeah.
On the topic of the Mercedes, both Mercedes drivers already out of this race, so they won't be scoring good points. The Tiger's crashed under the safety car!
No, Tiger's lost it! And Tiger spins! And he's in the right car as well in the Haas. He's going to drop all the way down to 16th place here. Has wing damage, has 8 seconds worth of penalties, and Tiger just seems to have absolutely no luck when it comes to the freshman. He just lights up the rears at turn 8. That's going to be dropping him down into 16th position and with another pit stop to make.
I'll quickly check the race director to see if there's any contact. I don't think
we're going to get the safety car in this lap though, Tiger, as the lights are out on top of the safety car. So Jitsikev then becomes our de facto safety car through the final sector. He dictates the pace. He decides when we're going to go back to green flag racing here. No glitches under the safety car for once, thank God. But here we go then as we come around turn 15. It's not showing me Jitsikev. I'd like to see if he's gotten the race back underway. He still hasn't yet though. We're going to go into turn 17. He's leaving this incredibly late here now. He does not want to give RCA any kind of advantage down the straight. I think he's going to go. He has gone now then, Nat. So Jitsuke gets us back underway here in Russia on lap 7. Tony has already got past Edison. Robert Codfather going very wide. Nearly takes out Absolute there on the main straight. But in fact falls down to 4th, potentially even 5th now, as GSY Bates makes his way around the outside of the Haas and up into 5th position. We've got Infamela though looking all over the back of J&B's Cyril down into turn 2, the first proper braking zone. Has gone down the inside of J&B's Cyril, but goes across the yellow tarmac there, and will have to give back that position. That was very much an illegal overtake. It's now going to be wheel to wheel with Victor through turn 3. Victor's led up a lot of positions in this race. Infinite's still on the outside there, gets the inside line for the next corner, but Victor goes wide. That's going to give Ace Sabo a chance now into turn 5 to make a move. In fact, he's glitched ahead of Infinite, has gone down the inside that turn 5. Oh, there's more contact. Infinite's lost it. He's in the wall, and it's a big crash, big crash. Both Ferraris are out on the spot.
Wow.
And that is a monumental accident. How was the game not called a safety car?
Safety car.
Ah.
The safety car.
As I say it.
And this has really helped Tiger actually get back into
certainly.
a decent chance of the race. But like the Mercedes, both Ferraris are now out of the race. I don't know. It was an interesting one. I think was it Ace Sabo glitching around a little bit?
Ace Sabo was glitching around under braking for turn 4, and then he was alongside with Victor, and he just like spawned alongside with Infamella. I don't know if that was the same thing that happened on his screen. Absolute coming into the pits, Nat. Oh no, wasn't coming into the pits. He tricked me. I don't appreciate that, Absolute. He tricked me. Anyway, but yeah. He glitched to be alongside with Infamella, and then Infamella just completely lost it on the exit of the corner and just wiped out his teammate essentially. Ace Sabo though in the pits, I think maybe with damage, indeed does have damage, so we'll be going on a set of soft tyres and with a new front wing. But I think it looked like Infamella had everything under control, but we got halfway through turn 6 and he just spun out, and yeah, that was the end of that. And Sabo the Mist has left the session. I'm sure he won't be very happy with his teammate there. Unfortunate for the Ferrari drivers, causing themselves their own worst enemy, it seems, at the moment here. Both drivers out after just 9 laps of racing here, Natty. But Tiger, as you were saying, that has provided Tiger with a massive opportunity here to get back up into this race. Will be at the back, but crucially, Natty only has 3 seconds worth of time penalties now after serving that 5-second time penalty in the pit lane.
Yeah, and interestingly, Robert Codfather and Dazza have both decided to stay out on the tyres they started the race on, so they are still due to make another pit stop in this race, and will probably lose out quite a lot of time.
Yeah, certainly.
If another safety car doesn't go.
If I was Robert Codfather and Dazza, I would be in the pits and on a set of hard tyres, or even a set of soft tyres, as people seem to think they can get to the end from here. I'd just be trying to go for that strat at the moment, because you're only going to lose even more time unless there is another safety car, and I wouldn't put anything past this race to have another safety car in it before we even get to half race distance here. And hopefully that isn't a commentator's curse. But anyway, we might get the safety car in this lap, as Ace Sabo now has joined the back of the pack. Has got wing damage again. That's hugely unfortunate for Ace Sabo. They just come out of the pits with a brand new front wing and has already damaged him. So the Alfa Romeo mechanics will be face palming in that particular garage, as the safety car has gone past the pits, so we're not going to get a chance to go back racing this lap. Sorry, Natty.
Yeah, I was just going to say, safety car staying out for another lap. Ace Sabo's into the pits to repair the front wing. Well, slowly coming into the pits as he's giving all those positions back. But Centurial's still into the pits.
I think he's listening to the commentary. Because he has come into the... Let's see if this is for a front wing change, maybe. I can see some pink mechanics, none of them holding the front wing. It is for another set of mediums though, Natty. So he's going to have to make another pit stop in this race, surely.
I'll check and see what tyre he started the race on. He started on the soft tyres.
Oh, okay.
So he pitted onto the first safety car and has made another pit stop for the medium compound tyre.
As yeah, oh, we've lost a Dutchy apparently. Bye, Dutchy. We'll see you later, I'm sure. But yeah, this is looking good. Gecko, good to see you in the chat. It's the first time that we've seen you here. Wakanda Bay saying bye Dutchy. Yeah, good to see you as well in the chat. I'm going to turn my phone back on actually because I need to read the chat. So I don't know what I was thinking there. But Yeah, unfortunately we have had another safety car then. Both, if you are just joining us, we had our back of ref disqualified from the race after cutting a bunch of corners. Tripolo and Alex Mac both out of the race, both of our Mercedes drivers out of the race, so that does not bode well for me and Tim for Thursday. Infamilla and Sabah the Mister then taking each other out at turn 6 after Infamilla made a bit of a mistake and his teammate got caught up in it. Jitsi Kev started in third, currently leads the race, Natty. Got a good start, got past RC8, got past Absolute. Couldn't have wished for a better opening stint, I am sure. RC8 still maintains second. Absolute hasn't got his setup on, but has been able to keep tabs on the front too at the moment, but is in third. GSY Bates doing very well, also up in fourth, and Robert Codfather in fifth, but of course hasn't made a pit stop yet. But we are going to have a safety car in this lap. Hopefully we get more than 2 laps of racing this time. I'm going to go back to green flag racing, then Jutsikev becomes the safety car essentially in this final sector. He decides when to go. The same spiel from 5 minutes ago. Got the Williams creating a bit of a gap now to the cars behind him, but we are not going to get back to green flag racing just yet. Jutsikev likes to leave these safety car restarts very late. We have to start doing things a bit differently because R6 is going to clock on and has gone at a different point to where he did last time though, but R6 has stayed with him, Natty, and we'll have the slipstream down this main straight. Robert Codfather goes wide once again. And Edison's out of this race already.
Edison got I don't know if he got on the throttle too early on the exit at the penultimate corner, but he's racing points, just watching him and spinning round.
Oh, as Victor's going to dive it down the inside of J&B Smil, that's contact, Victor's round! Oh, and he's nearly taken out his teammate in that, spins back off the track, but hits the wall, unfortunately for him. Having to go around the outside of Dazza now for 7th position. Dazza behind him now in 8th. Brizzy and Knight trying to get past Rano as well, but Tonio's trying to get past the pair of them. Tiger Assassin already up into 11th place. There's been a bit more contact as Dazza goes wide. Brizzy's through now, up into 8th position. Antonios is through as well on the inside. Pushes Dazza off the track. Brizzy's gone very wide also. You've got more cars going side by side. Tiger Assassin up in 10th place. Infimella's left the session, as here comes Tiger now round the outside of Tonios. Tonios with that front wing damage is going to switch it to the inside, down the inside at turn 8. Pushes the Alpha Tauri wide. Not just going to have to give that position back, but the Tonios still on the inside. But Tiger does get that position and up into 9th position. 5/10 of a second in between our front two. Let's get back up there to that. Just give that a 3-second time penalty, Natty. Just give it a penalty.
Going to be crucial coming towards the end of this race, as Ace and Sabah trying to get around Tonio's, can't quite make the move stick, but RC8's done well to stick with Jutsu Kev on the restart. And we want to try and close the gap as Ace and Sabah going down.
Tiger spun! No, Robert Codfather spun! Robert Codfather spinning at turn 16, and that has ruined his races coming into the pits, Natty. On those 10-lap-old mediums, and it's going to drop him out at the point. Have we got another safety car? Tiger going very slowly, I think. Oh wait, hang on, what?
I don't think we've got a safety car.
Oh, okay. On my mini map it showed Robert Codfather going into the pits when he went round the final corner. So, yeah, sorry, ignore me. Tiger Assassin over the back of Brizzy now as well, trying to get back into a better points-paying position. Goes over the sleeping policeman at turn 2, however, though, and still stuck behind the McLaren at this moment in time.
Jutsu Kev trying to pull out as big of a gap as he can to RCA, almost got out of the second gap of the DRS range. He's got that 3-second time penalty. He wants to try and push as hard as he can, get out of the DRS, and RCA and Absolute have both got penalties.
Well, at least it's evened itself out then, at least. So we do still have a battle for the leader here out on track. Brizzy in 7th, the only car inside the top 10 without penalties. We started this race with 20 cars, Natty. We're down to 14 by lap 12, so judging by those statistics, it's not looking great for the rest of the field as we head into the latter half of this race then. So R8 is all over the back of Jutsu Kev, now practically pushing the gearbox of the Red Bull through turn 16, as that has really struggled with that corner, Natty, and that's going to affect any chance that he has to try and get past that car down the main straight as Tiger now goes down the inside of Brizzy into turn 15. Clean move there by Tiger, gets himself up into 7th position, but Brizzy's had a much better exit off the corner. They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 17.
Go for the lead.
Let's go up here and watch this.
RCA pulls over to the outside. Jutsu Kev goes defensive into turn 1. RCA will have the outside. Jutsu Kev will try and stay on the inside, side by side through turn 2. Jitsu Kev just has to back off for a little bit. Picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, that's
Another
interesting.
one for slightly wide going at turn 2. We'll have to concede the position for now, but this is allowed absolute 11 to try and close in a little bit more.
And we are certainly keeping our cameras right up here then, so we've got 7 tenths of a second between our top 3 once again, Natty. These guys are inseparable today. They are so much on the pace. They're doing almost a second a lap now. Back to GSY Bates, just a reminder, Absolute doesn't have a setup on that car, and he's still keeping tabs on these top 2. But RC8 now beginning to get away from Jitsu Kev a bit. The gap already almost a second there, but he has gone wide. That's going to give Jitsu Kev a massive chance into turn 13. Surely.
The two McLarens, Hampton running into the back of his teammate Bruzzi, has got wing damage, and will allow our Ace of Sabo and Tiger to try and gain in on him. Got a good start off the restart from Bruzzi on those soft compounded tyres, might be able to stretch them to the end, and still hasn't got a penalty. But Hampton's going to struggle with the wing damage, and here comes Tiger driving it down the inside, but not quite going for the move, and that McLaren will probably be into the pits to repair that wing damage.
You would certainly have thought so as Tiger goes down the inside at turn 15. I honestly thought he was going to go for that, and I got very, very scared. But anyway, Jitsu Kevin all over the back of RC8, trying to get his lead back, the lead that he's had since lap 1, and indeed in the race that he had to abandon beforehand. The DRS shuts close and too far away at this attempt, but RC8 locks up Absolute now, 8 tenths of a second behind him. And let's try and see if Jitsu Kev can stay in the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo, try and get down the inside at turn 4. Hasn't gone for anything just yet, so just trying to buy this time a little bit. We have still got 13 laps to go in this race as Ace of Sabo now makes his way past Bruzzi for 6th position. Has Bruzzi stayed out, Natty?
I think he has. I think it was Hampton with the wing damage.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that's correct.
But Absolute 11 in a really good position. He doesn't have a setup on, but he's able to stick with the top 2. And look at his ERS. He's got 82% to play with compared to the front guys who have almost less than 10% of ERS to play with. Absolute 11. Plenty of battery left to play with.
Yeah, certainly Absolute 11 showing why he is the current points leader then, but at the moment is losing 10 points to RC8, who currently leads this race. But Jessica trying to do something about that now. He's going to turn 13, look for a move down the inside. I half thought he was going to go for that, Natty. Oh, but locks up almost and nearly slides into the Alfa Romeo. All we would need now to spice this race up a bit is some rain. But RC8 taking things very cautiously through turn 15 there. Doesn't want to give Jitsu Kev any advantage. In fact, checks up the Red Bull a bit coming through turn 16 just to make sure he doesn't have a good enough run through turn 17, and crucially now through the final corner, turn 18 onto the main straight. This is the closest that Jitsu Kev has been for the past couple of laps. I'm sure RC8 will be going defensive. DRS open then on the Red Bull, closed on the Alfa Romeo. They're going to go wheel to wheel here surely down into turn 2. Can Jitsu Kev make a move down the inside? Doesn't go for a move just yet, Natty.
Robert Godfather spinning in sector 3, bringing out the yellow flags. No safety car though. But the lead is really close together. Jitsu Kev might be trying to make a move as soon as he can. Tiger's also gaining on Bruzzi, not close enough to make a move for 7th place. But yeah, the front 3 and maybe the Red Bull boys might just not want to battle too hard and try and pressurise RC8 into making a mistake in this race. Both of them are in a really good position for the constructors' points.
Yeah, certainly. I think Red Bull's certainly running away with the Constructors' Championship in this league. I think barring anything major, they've had 2 cars on the podium almost every single race this season then. But Jitsu kept closing on the back of RC8 now. Once again, the gap 7 tenths of a second. So a bit too far potentially to make a move into turn 13. But I have been proved wrong before by these drivers. And Jitsu now on the back of the Alfa Romeo, late braking and doesn't go for a move just yet. But he is sizing up RC8 here, and sure it will only be a matter of time before these two end up going wheel to wheel once again. Absolute keeping a keen eye on his championship rivals there. Currently is still losing points though to this pair. Tiger and Bruzzi now having a bit of a ding-dong battle, it looks like, into turn 13 and 14. Tiger on the outside gets the move done on Bruzzi. Beautiful move by Tiger, swoops around the outside of the McLaren and puts himself out of position and into 7th position. Jitsu then, DRS open once again. Let's ride this down into turn 2 now. So has the slipstream, has the DRS, has the ERS deployment. But Natty, Absolute has 89% of his ERS compared to 10% for Jitsikev and 8% for RC8. But Jitsikev now looking at the back of RC8 going through turn 3 with the slipstream. Can he make a move into turn 4? Late braking. RC8's a bit later on the brakes than us though, on board with the Red Bull, and RC8 keeps his lead.
Yeah, absolute. As soon as he gets a chance, he's got the ERS to take it. He's got almost a full tank full of battery power to play with. The front two less than 10%, so they're not going to be able to defend if Absolute wants to come on the attack. He does have his no setup on, so running the default setup, but it seems to be working for him. He's able to stick with the front two while saving ERS. He's just sat behind these guys, just slipstreaming DRSing, and then just able to stay within seconds to keep the DRS.
Yeah, this is a very intelligent driver seeing here from Absolute at the moment. He's still got 79% of his battery left, Natty, and like you say, if he wants to go for it and get past, I think he can probably do it at any point in time, and these two up in front won't be able to respond to him. They won't have the extra power they need from the engine to try and come back at Absolute once he decides to go for this move. But it's just a matter of waiting now. I think 11 laps left to run in this race, 12 if you include this one, as they do in real life. But that gap now 0.6 of a second between Jitsikev and RC8. I think Absolute will be getting a bit impatient here behind his teammate and will be trying to push past and get after RC8 for the win here in Russia. Then DRS open once again, gaining on RC8, Jitsikev pulls it to the inside, maybe goes for a move. The gap went down to about 1/10 of a second there. It has gone wide. That's compromised his exit, and now here comes Absolute down the inside. Thought about it as his teammate had a rubbish exit off turn 2, but decides to back out and not go for it, and also decides to back out into turn 4. So very clean racing then between the two teammates, seemingly the only two teammates who haven't crashed on track yet. But yeah, so far in this race we have had 6 retirements unfortunately, and they will all be very unhappy. I am sure Tonio's are getting past Victor. In fact, Victor in the pits for a set of soft tyres, Natty, and a front wing change.
Victor into the pits, and maybe it's worth Red Bull swapping the drivers and allowing Absolute 11 to use his ERS to maybe try and push more on RC8, see if he can put him a bit more under pressure. Jitsikev unable to use his battery power, so maybe swap the guys round. Allow Jitsikev to save some of his ERS while Absolute tries to push for RC8 potentially, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, well, for our team orders down there at Red Bull, they're definitely not coming into fruition just yet. Will Jitsikev play the team game and let his teammate get past and lose more ground to him in the championship in order for him to extend his lead over RCA? I don't see it happening. I think Jitsikev wants to fight this out to the end, ERS disadvantage or not. But I think if Absolute wants this move, he's going to have to work for it, as he is going to try and work for it now. The DRS open in the slipstream of his teammate down into turn 2, a little bit too far away to make a move on this occasion. But Jitsikev locks up, and Absolute all over the back of his teammate once again. He's going to go through turn 3 in the slipstream. He's got so much. He's nearly got 10 times the amount of ERS. Jitsikev in fact has over 10 times the amount of ERS he needs to get past Jitsikev, but just biding his time. He's just waiting. He's very, very patient here, and he's just trying to suss out Jitsikev, make a mistake so he can use that ERS deployment against RC8 and not his teammate.
We were saying this earlier, how Absolute 11 is so good, finds mega pace at the end of the race, and this is probably why he's able to conserve his ERS throughout the majority of the race while also keeping pace with the front runners. So he's got that ERS to play with. Just when is he going to try and is he going to use it and develop that extra speed, especially down the straights, and go for a move on his teammate. The Red Bull guys don't want to cost too much time for RC8 as Jitsikev gone a little bit too deep into turn 13. This is going to allow Absolute 11 maybe to try and go for a move, but they're costing a lot of time to RC8, almost a second. They're almost out of the DRS.
They
actually are.
Yeah, but so, I think, Natty, though, there's not, other than the second activation point, or detection point even, is at turn 1. So if Jits can get this gap to under a second before we get to turn 1, I don't think he is though, Natty. and I think we could be about to see an overtake on track for second position then. So Jitsikev was in third, has led so much of his race, the majority of this race, but now looks like it's going to be overtaken by his teammate and fall back down to third, absolutely on the outside. Doesn't even need to use the rest of his ERS now, so he's through and up into second position here. And let's see if he can get after RC8 now. This is exactly the type of race that Absolute loves to execute. He can just bide his time behind another car. He doesn't phase him. Wait for the car in front to make a mistake, then use the saved ERS to get after the car in front and win the race. Once again, we are seeing a typical Absolute 11 drive.
Yeah, he's got that ERS to play with come towards the end of the race. Who knows what percentage his tyres on. He's probably conserved those medium tyres really well throughout the course of this race and be able to push RC8 for the win of this race.
Yeah, certainly. Actually, Pierre making a good point in the chat there, saying Ternios is losing the most in the championship battle from this race. It will now be a three-way battle. Yeah, I think, unfortunately for Ternios, that is going to be the fact. He's down in ninth at the moment, but Natty, Absolute, is already he's all over RC8. RC8 has less than half of the ERS deployment to play with as Absolute does, and this looks like it's a formality here, Natty. Absolute with no setup on the car. Looks like he could be about to make a move for the lead of this race.
There you have it, the default setup working amazingly well for Absolute, and also being able to conserve his ERS, and now I'm sure he's going to use all of it, and he set the fastest lap of the race on those medium tyres with lap 20, lap 19, but here he comes on RC8, he's close enough, he's got the ERS, the DRS, look to the inside.
Oh. Doesn't go for it. That's interesting.
Just buying his time.
He can't bide his time too much though, as he will need to get past RC8 obviously for the win in this race. I'm sure he'll be doing his best to try and make that happen, but he's all over. I just keep saying they're just all over the back of each other. They've been so like this for the entire race. I'm sure even if he does make his way past RC8, RC8 will be doing his damnedest to come back at the Red Bull. Now as you come through turn 7 down towards turn 8, another opportunity then for Absolute to get past the Alfa Romeo coming up very, very shortly here after turn 12 and onto, sorry, turn 11 and onto the back straight. DRS will be open once again for Absolute, but Natty, they're a lot closer in terms of ERS usage now. I think Absolute's going to leave this in reserve potentially for that main straight.
Yeah, and this has kind of become a two-horse race for the lead at the minute. Jitsikev 9 seconds worth of penalties from front two only having 3 seconds each, so we're looking to try and keep it clean as RC8 not looking too comfortable in the entrance to the final sector in that Alfa Romeo, and I'm sure Absolute 11 will all over him come the start-finish straight.
Yeah, half a second then, 6/10 of a second now between our front two here. RC8 under immense pressure from the leader of the championship at the moment. 7/10 of a second though is the gap. I think RC8's just getting a good enough exit off the final corner to keep himself away from the Red Bull, the threat of the Red Bull. JMB Surreal's made his way past A-Stabber 4th as Tiger. GS White Bates comes into the pits, Natty. And is this for wing damage?
Have to keep an eye. I don't know. I don't think the Williams crew are preparing the front wing. It just looks like a normal pit stop onto the soft compound tyres. Maybe he'll try to go for the fastest lap.
That's very peculiar from GS Web Base. Obviously, he probably didn't feel the tyres he was on could go to the end of the race, so he's now swapped out for a set of soft tyres. Like you say, maybe going for a fastest lap attempt then. It's going to take some going to try and beat Absolute's fastest lap. Speaking of which, even, he is all over the back of RC8 once again. I've used that phrase a lot today. We're going to use it again though. It's going to come down into towards turn 13. Very hard braking zone here. He's going to try and maybe go down the inside, but he just can't make a move on the RC8 at the moment. But RC8 getting a snap of oversteer there, as we've seen so many times in this race. 6 laps to go then through turn 15 and 16. Again, it looks so squirrely through there, Natty. It's like they have no rear wings for a part of the track or section of the track there. Through turn 17 and 18, the final couple of corners, and Absolute is so close. He's hit RC8, and RC8's had a little bit of a half spin. Now Jitsikev coming at the both of them, and now it's going to be, you could have a 3 wide moment here, Natty. Jitsikev round the outside of his teammate, and
Here he
they both have DRS on the Alfa Romeo. Jitsikev going to try and make a move for the lead of the race. Natty, and Jitsikev has made it work, but he's gone wide, and that's going to allow Absolute to get past. Absolute's going
wide.
top through turn 3. The top 3 in the championship go 3 wide. Jitsikev comes out on top. Can RC8 get back into this? Absolute is still stuck behind RC8. Jitsikev now leads this race. Can Absolute make a move? And he got... What a moment that was. Our top 3 in the championship going 3 wide around turn 3 in Sochi. That was insane. That was insane to watch. And no one even coming together. And that shows how good the freshman league drivers can actually be. But after all of that, Natty, Absolute still finds himself in 3rd position behind the red in Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he really ideally needs to get ahead of RCA in this race. Jitsikev does have all those penalties to contend with. But well, that's all been happening. We've got a 3-way fight here for 4th place. JMB's through Oasis, Sabo and Tiger is caught up to the back of this battle as well. So we've got 2 3-way battles here from 1st to 6th.
Oh, the first 6 positions all separated by less than a tenth of a second. Oh, sorry, less than a second even. But Natty, the gap between JMB Surreal and Absolute is 16.7 seconds. That just shows the pace of this top 3. They have decimated the rest of the field. It's like they haven't even turned up to the race. But even the gap between Tiger and Tunturi again is almost 18 seconds now. Like, it just shows that there's a massive pace differential at the moment in this league, certainly. But we've got Absolute still looking at the back of RCA. We've been remarking how patient he is, Natty. He can't be afford to be much more patient, and indeed he is. He's going to try and work it now round the outside of RCA, using up all of the ERS in his disposal down the inside at turn 4. RCA closes the door though and keeps that 2nd position, but that will turn into the lead once Jitsikev crosses the line, unless he can somehow work up a 6-second lead with 5 laps to go in this race.
So Antonio's is into the pits. This could be the fastest lap attempt. Potentially, I don't think he's got damage. But yeah, Jitsikev almost getting out of the DRS range, just not able to do it. Then RC8 will have the DRS. But crucially, RC8 still has no ERS. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. I think that's Robert Codfather. But here comes Absolute 11. And doesn't go for it just yet.
Was he locked up a lot? Oh, so didn't lock up, broke too late, and then he went into RC8, but managed to keep everything all together and composed as he head through turn 15 and 16 now. So coming into the latter stages of the lap here in Sochi. Jitsikev still leads this race, but won't be leading on penalties though, Natty. And in fact, RC8 had another very poor exit off of the final corner, but so is Absolute. It's an even worse exit, Natty. But now RC8's coming at Jitsikev. We could be about to go 3 wide here. Once again, RC8 now closing on the back of Jitsikev to go down in towards turn 2, the first real braking opportunity on this track. RC8's going to work it to the outside. He's gone round the outside of Jitsikev. What a move that was from RC8, and Absolute now gets past his teammate as well on the inside of turn 3, but what a move that was by RC8. It was late, it was committed, he locked up and everything, but he got the move done and up into the lead of this race.
And unfortunately for Jitsikev, picking up a 3 second time penalty in the process, bringing up his total to 12 seconds.
Oh,
but
Absolute
had a massive tank slapper, but Jitsikev doesn't go for a move, but he will actually try to switch back on his teammate.
They're going to go wheel to wheel into turn 8.
Jitsikev alternate lines to his teammate. Will try and go maybe with a move around the outside. Will once again try the cutback move and
going
will
to
get
have
a
a
good
massive
run.
advantage here.
And yeah, with the DRS, Absolute might have to concede this position, but the lead.
They're costing themselves so much time though now. 1.3 seconds to RC8, just lost from that going side by side.
RC8 now 1.3 second advantage with 3 laps to go, and that little scrap that the 2 Red Bulls had definitely cost them time. However, Jitsikev though gaining it back a little, now within the DRS range. If he can keep this down to turn 1, he will have the DRS on RC8. It's going to be close though.
Oh, I think he's just missed out. He has just missed out, Natty, and that's going to give
absolute
he has got the
DRS
DRS.
down to turn 2. I don't think he's close enough to get the move.
I don't think so
His ERS.
And Absolute has to get on with this now. He's got 3 laps left to go if he wants to try and win this race. It's a second gap between second and first. RC8 though has been caught a bit in that first sector. The gap now down to just under a second. The gap actually goes back up to just over a second. So the gap really ebbing and flowing between these 3 drivers. I'm sorry I haven't looked at anyone else for most of this race, but our top 3 have just been so close. And don't forget, Natty, these 3 also fighting for the championship.
Yeah, as Bates actually set the fastest lap of the race, so taking it away from Absolute 11, he'll get an extra point at the end of the race if he can maintain it and stay inside the top 10, obviously.
But crucially now, Natty, DRS for Jitsi Kev, DRS for Absolute, no such luck for RC8. The gap closing all the time. Jitsi Kev's gaining so much in a straight line. We haven't seen that all this race. Where was that pace a couple of laps ago, Jitsi in a straight line? But here we go then through the final sector, in towards turns 15 and 16, down into third gear. We'll try and get a better exit than the Alfa Romeo and short shift up through the gears for the traction. RC8 spun it! RC8 spun! And that's giving Jitsi Kev the lead of the race with 3 laps to go here. RC8 dropping the ball at turn 16, and that's allowed Jitsi Kev onto the lead of the race. But Natty, surely he won't take it. Surely Absolute will take it though. As this, if RC8 can make an overtake on Absolute for second place, that will be the net lead of the race here. Natty, Jitsi Kev with 12 seconds of penalties. The other 2 drivers with 3 seconds worth of penalties.
I think if I was the Red Bull team, swap Absolute and Jitsi Kev around now before RC8 gets ahead of Absolute just to secure his win here in Russia. We never know what's going to happen. These 3 have been showing mega pace, and Jitsi Kev with the 12-second time penalty. Absolute 11 though will have to defend from RC8, try and use his teammate to gain down in the straight line. He's got the ERS, but
as Natty, Ace Savo's made his way up into 4th position now, so we've got a Red Bull 1-2, Alfa Romeo 3 and 4 here in Sochi at the moment. Tiger's dropped off his battle a little bit though. He's now 3.3 seconds behind JMB's field, so it looks like P6 might be the best that he can manage at the moment. But let's go back up here to the front though, Natty, because RC8, he knows he's angry. He's angry, he's spun, he's lost his advantage over Absolute at the moment. He's going to be trying to come back at the Red Bull. We've got 2 laps left in the Russian Grand Prix here in Sochi. You have our top 3 separated by less than 1.2 seconds. Natty, this last lap's going to get spicy. Absolute! Jitsi Kev's let Absolute go through, Natty. And Jitsi Kev's let Absolute go through into the lead of the race. I don't know if he had a spin or if something else has happened, but Jitsi Kev's coming back at his Red Bull teammate now into the final couple of corners. Goes wide. RC8 now has to overtake 2 cars on this final lap.
It's a Sabu span, and he's hit JMB to real well rejoining the track. That's promoted Tiger up into 4th place as well.
And I think I've accidentally commentators cursed Ace Sabu and JMB. Tiger up into 4th position, but RC8 all over the back of Jitsi Kev. Then we're going to go in towards turn 3. Jitsi Kev being a massive team player there, allowing his teammates to get up into the lead. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to win this race with the time penalties that he has. He'll also see the time penalties of the cars around him, but RC8 will be kicking himself, but he didn't make a full advantage of the lead that he hadn't had a little bit of a spin at turn 16. But Absolute then currently leads this race with just a few corners left to go through turn 5 for the final time. That's right off board here. The top 3 separated by 1 second. 3 cars in a second. That's about 4 car lengths, and we can barely believe it. Jitsi Kev's gone wide though, and this is going to be RC8 surely his last opportunity to get past another car in this race coming up very shortly. But Jitsi Kev will also have the DRS, and Absolute looks a little bit out of touch at the moment. RC8 will have the DRS down this back straight. Can he get past Jitsi Kev on track? Jitsi does have 12 seconds worth of time penalties there, weaving a little bit to try and break the split between the gap now 1.2 seconds to Absolute, who has managed to keep it together through turn 13 for the final time here. Hampton's out of the race on the final lap, but Absolute, only a handful of corners to go here, Natty. He was on pole, he fell back to 3rd, and what are we saying? This has been exactly the type of race he loves to execute. Saved up the ERS, had the pace towards the end of the race. It's going to be Absolute 11. He's going to come round the final corner, Natty, and take his 6th win in the Freshman League. He wins the Russian Grand Prix.
An amazing race from Absolute 11, getting the victory there. Jitsi Kev dropping down to 3rd on penalties, but where will Tiger finish in the end? He does have 15 seconds of penalties. And this could be quite
Oh.
close between Tiger and JMB actually. JMB's got 8 seconds worth of penalties and he's 13 seconds behind the other flags.
So Tiger has made it fast. He's dropped down to 5th. JMB Surreal coming around the final corner then, and Victor's retired from the session on the last lap. And JMB stays in 6th. So Tiger, by 1/10 of a second, brings home 5th place for Haas, their best finish of the season here. So I think he'll be relatively happy with that, considering how his race went from bad to worse, and then to very, very good again. Tunturi coming around the final corner, so it'll be P8 for him. Brizzy in 9th position comes around the final corner, and he's going to take P9 for the McLaren team. Antonio's, barring anything terrible at the final corner, will take 10th and last points paying position. But what a come down that has been for Tonios after leading in Monza last week to finishing 10th here in Russia this week. Dazza now coming through the final sector, and Robert Kotov will finish in P12. But amazingly, Natty, no penalties for Robert Codfather, so very clean race there from Robert, and has done well to get away with no penalties. Oh, has spun!
Dazza's run out of fuel.
And Dazza's run out of fuel again.
Spam.
And this could still be close to the line. Dazza out of fuel. Robert Codfather coming around the final corner. Dazza's made it though. Dazza just keeps that 11th position there.
Robert got no penalties. Can he gain a second?
Did he do it?
Not quite, but amazing race, and on Victor's spin, he lost it on the same corner as Tiger did under the safety car, and lost his left tyre. Robert Goodfather getting the in-game driver of the day.
That's what we like to see, that fighting start. But yeah, what a race! What a race that we've had there. But the top 3 really showing the best of this. Definitely really shown the best of the freshman league here. Definitely these top 3. I know we've had safety car incidents, we've had crashes that probably shouldn't have happened, but I think don't let that take away from this top 3 and the battle that we're having for the championship here. This is absolute 6th win here in the freshman league. He is rewriting the record books here. Now has triple the wins of the next driver there. Your previous champion, Holland Campion, only had 2 wins from the races last season. So I think we're seeing history rewritten, certainly in the freshman league. At least it's going to be absolute to take another win here. But I think that pole to win ratio we're seeing here at the moment definitely does not reflect this race. RC8 in 2nd, Jitsi Kev in 3rd, Ace Sabo in 4th. Very good result for him and the Alfa Romeo team in the Constructors' Championship. Tiger Assassin with Haas's best result in 5th, JMB Surreal in 6th, GSY Bates 7th, Tunturi in 8th, Brizzy in 9th. Tonios rounds out the top 10 in 10th position with the fastest laps, so we'll be getting an extra point for that. Dazza in 11th, Robert Codfather 12th, Victor 13th, Hampton in 14th. Then we get to our DNFers in this race. Ellison, Infamella, who had a crash with his teammate Triple O, Albagirev and Alex Gunnar Macben will contribute to that DNF list. But Natty, that race had an incredible ending.
I mean, that moment at 3 wide through turn 3 was just incredible for the lead of the race as well. There was no stopping those 3 in the championship.
I am definitely going to be screenshotting that. It's going on, I'm going to send it to Tiger, and it was definitely going on the Instagram. That was insane. Moments. Top 10, yeah, Tiger. I'm those top 10 moments. Yeah, Piero is saying was not a great start, but the second part of the race is awesome. Yeah, I certainly agree with that. It was definitely a race of 2 halves then, but that's going to be it for us here in Sochi. We're going to be back next week though, where I believe we are in Japan. Yeah, in Japan for round 10 of the freshman league. I don't believe the championship can be wrapped up next race, but certainly we're getting towards the business end of the season now. But don't forget, join Tiger and Evan tomorrow for the Premier Series, where we are jetting off to Singapore for our first night race, I believe, in Gavra Racing this season. Also on Thursday, don't forget, Super League also in Singapore, again only night race of the season there as well. I've currently played Dutch League away in the Drivers' Championship there. And then on Friday we bring you action from the Red Bull Ring in GT Sport. Natty and Cryptech will be your commentators for that. And on Sunday we bring you Weekend League action, so it doesn't run out of action here at Gavra Racing from the Weekend League, which is also in Austria, I believe, Natty.
Yeah.
Yes. And in the meantime, don't forget to watch out for another podcast episode, hopefully being recorded soon and will be up shortly. We had Piero on as well. If you haven't seen that episode 19 with Piero on the podcast, very lovely interview. They're very upbeat and chirpy guy, as he always is in the chat as well. And it's always good to talk to our drivers. If you would like to be involved in the podcast in that way, just let either one of us know. All of our contact details are on the bottom of each description. But anyway, guys, that's going to round us off here for the Russian Grand Prix as Natty plays about the lobby settings. This is why we don't give him power. But yeah, we're going to see you guys next week, where again we will be in Japan. Thank you for watching, everybody.
And goodbye, guys.